Hello everyone, we are Gabriela, López and Aleuzenev Nogales, and we are going to talk about tourism and its evolution through time. The main events related to tourism are divided in 4 stages, beginning with the nomads and finishing with tourism nowadays. Like cavemen before the 5th century, the first evidence of tourism started with nomads traveling to gather food, avoid danger and weather. After these nomads, the first civilized village born, and their way of doing tourism was by trading and bartering. Years later, traveling becomes something people did for fun and to relax. Egyptians started to travel to see important monuments. Greeks traveled with religious purposes and leisure. And finally, Romans traveled principally for pleasure. They discovered the importance of holidays. Later, around the 13th century, the monasteries and the charity played an important role. Marco Polo traveled from Europe to Asia and wrote a book about his journey to Baghdad. James Cook did the same about his trips to Australia. It's important to highlight that from the 12th to the 16th century, people started to travel with educational and experiential purposes to achieve self-realization. Then, from the 14th to the 17th century, there were some other events. The discovery of America in 1492, the first passports were issued, and the Grand Tour, that basically consisted of young learners traveling to learn about culture, science, etc. Later, we had another important event, the Industrial Revolution. At this time, pleasure supplanted education. People started to be more interested in traveling for pleasure than for the education. The basis for mass tourism were created. Societies went from rural to urban, and the middle class started to expand. After these events that impacted this age, transportation became important in tourism. Approximately at 20th century started the travels by airplane. All of this began with the first airplane flight. In addition, it's important to highlight that because of the World War II, tourism industry was paralyzed until 1949. Nowadays, in the 21st century, tourism is seen as a tool to fight against poverty and to maintain heritage. Tourism became an influence on the world per se, but do we really know what tourism really is? According to the World Tourism Organization, tourism is a collection of activities, services, and industries which deliver a travel experience compression, transportation, accommodation, eating and drinking establishments, retail shops, entertainment businesses, and hospitality services provided by the individuals or groups traveling away from home.
The travel and tourism industry is a vast group business with one goal in common: to provide necessary or desired products and services to travelers. This industry has now become the largest civilian industry in the world. According to statistics, 1 out of every 10 people worldwide is part of the travel and tourism industry. Within the tourism and travel industry, there is a system of interdependent components: distribution channels, tourists, the communities, and the governments. In addition, we have other components that are also known as the core components of tourism. First, we have the attractions. They can be cultural, such as museums, villages, arts, galleries, or natural, such as beaches, mountains, rivers. Second, we have transportation. It is necessary to have sufficient transportation to, from, and within the destinations. The third component is infrastructure, which are those that provide the basic framework for the effective functioning of systems such as urban areas, industry, etc. A tourist not only travels but also stays somewhere. And here comes in accommodation. It could be of different types, that is, from cottage of tourist lodges to a houseboat or a 5-star hotel. Another component is the basic services such as catering, food, entertainment, etc. However, the tourist industry must keep improving through time, and that is why it exists public sector bodies or organizations such as tourist boards and local councils to focus on tourism development and promotion. This is seen through promotional leaflets, brochures, websites, and tourist information center. Ancillary services in travel and tourism are services that are provided which make the entire travel experience very comfortable, safe, secure, and enjoyable. For example, travel insurance, which provides insurance for loss of baggage, passport, or any valuables. Similar services like airport parking, tickets for any kind of park, museums, etc. Now, international tourism organizations have been created to encourage international travel and to help travel and tourism companies operate with a common set of standards. On the other hand, the National Tourist Organization is the body responsible for the formulation and implementation of national tourist policy. There are four types of tourism organization: through membership, through the public sector, the private sector, and the regional organization. The two most important international tourism organizations are the World Tourism Organization and the World Travel and Tourism Council. There are other organizations such as the International Air Transport Association, the International Civil Aviation Organization, and the last but not least, the Confederación of Organizaciones Turísticas de la América Latina, that stands for the interest of its country members and associates in order to create a unified Latin America. But now we're going to talk about national tourism. The national tourism organizations are in charge of the rules, regulations, laws, and mandatory decisions. In Venezuela, the most important public tourism organizations are MINTUR, which is the national organism in charge of the regulation of the tourism activity in Venezuela, and INATUR, or National Institute of Tourism, that is the entity in charge of the promotional and educational activities that benefit the development of tourism. But there are other organizations such as Benatur, a touristic agency, and Conceturismo, that is a private association and a non-profit organization. Thank you for your attention.